Good evening and welcome to Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports. Here with John, I am Mike, and hopefully Jason will pop in here shortly. We're here to spread the good news about Baltimore sports here on this Sunday evening. And John, how was your weekend?
It was great, great. Selling cars, and thankfully it didn't really rain yesterday, so that was a plus. And do you like my Shanghai professional soccer jersey tonight?
John, I was looking at what you were wearing, and I'm like, that is not Orioles or Ravens colors. It's like a blue, and I was like, is that an old Detroit Tigers jersey? Because I can't see the emblem on the chest there. So tell me why that came about and why you're donning that particular jersey this evening.
Okay, well, my brother lives in Shanghai, and it's called the Shanghai Shenhua, and it's a professional football team or professional soccer team in Shanghai. So he brings whenever he comes back, he'll bring me like Ravens or Orioles jerseys back. He buys for $5 at the black market there. But no, this is the Shanghai, whatever that means, Shenhua, and yeah, that's their jersey.
All right, let me add them to my favorites on my teams here on ESPN, so I can get their latest news and information on their wins and losses. No, I don't think so.
No, I
Oh
don't think
man, I'm
so either.
telling you, this is this marks the end of summer for me here in Baltimore because school starts on Tuesday. I know you guys have been back in school for a bit now, but we've been starting school after Labor Day for the last few years up here in the Maryland area. So some of the private schools are back already. Actually, Baltimore County started last week, but Harford County is late to the party. Not much of a party, but we had soccer tournaments this weekend. Josh had his tournament. We were at what's called Cedar Lane, which is a rec park here. So spent a lot of the weekend on the field. Enjoyed watching Josh play some soccer. Just unwinding. This right at the beginning of September, John. What a great time for sports. It feels like temperatures up here in Maryland have been amazing. It's been 70s, low 80s at most around the Baltimore metropolitan area, and it feels almost like fall. And my favorite time of year is fall in general, but what a great time for sports.
Oh, absolutely. You had the big games yesterday in the you had the Big Ten versus the SEC with the Ohio State taking care of Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns, and then you had Florida State beating Alabama, and now Alabama is wanting Saban back, and then you had the game last night with Clemson and LSU, and tonight you had Miami and Notre Dame, I think, and so then we're only what we're less than 11 days away from kickoff of the Ravens versus the Bills. So, everything is my favorite week of the year when college football starts, and then next week when the NFL starts. So it's pretty good time of year to be alive, and they're doing a good job.
Yeah, I'm an Irish fan, and right now they're trailing 14-7 to Miami. It's interesting just watching a little bit of that game with Carson Beck taking over in Miami after the injury he had, and then thinking about going to the NFL draft, and now hitting the transfer portal, and what a nice veteran presence that is for Miami. Watching them play tonight, he threw one up to some guy who just grabbed it with one hand and took it in the end zone. I'm like, these athletes, these college football athletes all over just make these amazing athletic plays. I love the fact that wherever I am and wherever I'm scrolling through the TV channels, there is college football. You're talking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before the NFL starts, and it's all over the place. So there's always something to watch, which is super exciting. We've got all the fantasy football drafts going on this weekend. You can just feel football in the air. It's super exciting times here. And then, of course, my family wanted to watch a movie tonight, so I didn't watch too much of the college football because National Treasure was on tap tonight. Have you ever seen that? That's a good oldie but goodie.
Yeah, it's an oldie. Hey, it's a great weekend unless you're an Army fan. And you pay Army. You see this, Mike? You see what happened to Army? Army paid Tarleton State $250,000 to be like their warm up game, and then they took them to double overtime and beat Army.
Oh man. Oh, how the
So,
mighty have
I,
fallen.
yeah, well, I had to look up this like Tarleton State because I don't know anything. I don't even know where Tarleton State is. And I had to look this up. And it's a public high research university located in Stevensville, Texas. And it's part of the Texas A&M university system. They're called the Tarleton Texans. And so Army like got this team to play them to kind of warm up because hopefully they're hoping to beat Navy this year. And they lose in double overtime to an FCS school that nobody's heard about. So that was the big news of the weekend, I think.
That doesn't bode particularly well for the Army Navy game. Uh, we we shall see. Hopefully, they can turn this puppy around. Now, it's hard to make make judgments off of week one. I like that you brought up Ohio State, which I hate Ohio State, but I understand you have some Ohio ties there. But they just always find a way to win. It seems like, and Ryan Day has done a good job there. I'm if you're an Ohio State fan, pleasantly surprised with how he has just seamlessly taken over that program and done a really nice job. But Texas, I think everybody's on Arch Manning. Like they expected him to be the savior immediately. I mean, they were ranked number one in the country, coming into the season. I think that's a little bit of an overreach a little bit. I don't know, based on Ohio State winning the championship last year. But I know everybody loses players and you kind of reassess where that is. But looking at that game, John, I'm sure you watched some of that game. Did you feel like Texas was a little overrated?
I thought they were a little overrated, but you also got to remember that Ohio State's defense is, between Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan, their defenses are three of the top defenses in the country. Where, in the SEC, you got more so offense. You got high scoring games without a lot of defense. Where the Big Ten is more box them in, drag them out, punch them in the face, defensive style football games. Because, the weather's different up there. So, they have a lot more running. They got a lot more, money spent on, in college football now. You're spending money on your teams, but you're spending money on the defense, more so in the Big Ten than in the SEC. So, Arch faced probably his toughest competition this year on defense in the first game. So we'll see, how he does. I mean, he almost pulled the rabbit out of the proverbial hat in the fourth quarter yesterday. I believe he had 57 yards passing through three, and then I think he ended with like 178 or something like that. So in the third quarter, he threw, I think, for 138 yards and a touchdown. So, it was trying to pull some of the Manning magic. But then, of course, if you looked at the proverbial X, the Twitter, it was going nuts on Manning. It was like there was one I saw that it was a guy flipping burgers at McDonald's, and it said, if this is what happens if your last name's not Manning and you play like this.
Yeah, they were putting the arch for Heisman to rest. I saw like there's tombstones and stuff. There's all kinds of memes going on right now. But you know what? He did in the fourth quarter give them an opportunity to come back and potentially win the game. And he missed a throw across. There was a short throw, kind of a crossing route that I thought they had an opportunity in that last drive to complete. He threw it a little behind the guy, and I think he had some space to run. Could have kept that drive alive. But again, give the man a little bit of a break. He's a young fella. Remember Peyton Manning's first year in the NFL wasn't exactly all, sunshine and rainbows. So it takes these guys a little bit of time to get good. So leave him alone. I watch National Treasure, but college football is awesome. If you have a chance to tune into that, maybe do that. You know what else we watched on Jurassic Park and Pirates of the Caribbean? Like we're going through some old school classics with my kids, and they're actually getting on board, which is really appreciated because we got to get the culture of the dad bod era to these kids. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with the movie like Pirates of the Caribbean or Jurassic Park because it's like 3 hours long, and I'll make it through about 45 minutes, and then I'll sleep the remainder of the movie.
Yeah, no, I hear you because look, I'm trying to spend time. You try to spend quality time with each of your kids every day, right? So I had a few minutes with Seal earlier today, and I was like, well, you know what? I need to spend a few minutes with Josh. We need to hang out, and he loves Minecraft. There's a game, Minecraft Dungeons, on the Switch that we play, and I'm playing, and I don't know, we're in some soggy swamp level, and I'm on there, and I'm got my pickaxe or whatever it is I'm knocking down skeletons and green globs with. And all of a sudden, I feel Josh tapping my shoulder. He's like, Dad, your character's not moving. I'm like, that's because I'm asleep, buddy. I fell asleep playing a video game. I'm like, I can't. I mean, yeah, that's when you know you're old. You know what I mean?
You haven't even
It's
started school yet.
I know. I can't. When that happens, we're in trouble. But I digress. Let's talk a little bit about the O's this weekend. And
I'd prefer if we didn't. I'd
yeah,
prefer
I
to
know.
just sweep that under the rug, and we'll talk about it again come March.
No, unfortunately, we're here for that, John. So we're here to allow everyone to vent, including the innermost of our being. So the O's had a tough one today. They lost 13-2 to the Giants. In case you're wondering, the Giants had a touchdown and 2 field goals. So they're getting ready for football season as well. Now, and you know what we did today? We made Justin Verlander feel really good about himself, as if he were a Cy Young candidate again. Even though it took him 120-some pitches through 5 innings, he had 10 strikeouts today of that vaunted Orioles lineup. John, what did you think of the O's lack of effort today?
It just kills me because I'm just, you look at what they think, what we thought coming into the season. And again, we'll say it again and again. We came into the season with such high hopes, and basically, everything was just not where we wanted things to be. And I mean, I'm looking here at the box score. Holiday had a solid game at the plate. He only had 2 recorded at bats with a hit, a run, an RBI, and three walks. But the rest of the lineup, just Jackson had 2 strikeouts, Kowser with 2 strikeouts, Basayo with 2 strikeouts. Everybody but Holiday and Johnson had at least 1 strikeout today. So it's kind of like, what is Elias telling the coaching staff that they should be doing? Are we trying to suck for luck, or are we what are we doing here? Because it doesn't seem like they're working counts. It doesn't seem like they're doing the things that professional hitters should be doing at the plate. And then this is how we end up. However, you look at the previous series against the Red Sox, and the pitching staff performed. We had quality outings. Our offense just couldn't score enough runs. I mean, the Giants were today's game, and then it was a Friday night's game, I think, as well, that were kind of difficult. But against the Red Sox, our offense just didn't put out, but our pitching was fantastic.
I mean, if the Giants were normal sized people, do you think we would have had a better chance of them being, giant? I think that was part of the problem. They were just regular sized people. We could have had a better shot. But
well, if we had got Verlander instead of Charlie Morton, we would have stood a better chance.
Yeah. No, to me, it's really interesting, right, John? Because this is a weird time of year if you're an Orioles fan. We've got some call-ups, which is kind of fun to watch their individual performances, right? But team performance-wise, we know we're not really playing for much anymore. There's no real chance to make a playoff bid. You've got the opportunity again to see these young guys play. I think we're looking at more individual performances than team performance, which is fine from our end as a fan. But you worry about, team psyche. We're trying to build for next year to get better and better, right? And to try to build some momentum moving into the offseason. So my biggest concern is that gel in the clubhouse? Are they starting to come together a little bit? I know that putting together a few winning streaks here on the way out would be really nice. You see a performance on Saturday like you did from Trevor Rogers. He just continues to pitch well, game in and game out, just a model of consistency. And how encouraging is that for you moving forward here into the end of the season, John?
Yeah, it does. I mean, we talked about this last time about how, the Orioles may have 3 decent to above average pitchers, coming into the season next year that we can start adding, to the staff. Our starting pitching could be on the up. But I'm looking forward here to the month of September, and the Orioles have probably one of the, if not the most brutal schedule of any team in the big leagues. We go to San Diego. We're home against the Dodgers. Then we play the Pirates. But then we got the Blue Jays, then the White Sox, Yankees, Tampa Bay, and then Yankees to end the season. So we're going to see what the starting pitching can do here in the month of September. And I think that's really going to lead us into the offseason as to, okay, what can we expect out of Kramer and Rogers? And can they, when they're facing lineups like, San Diego and the Dodgers and the Blue Jays and the Yankees, what are we getting out of them? And I think it's going to be very telling as to what we can start expecting for the following season with these games in September.
Absolutely. And we had done our predictions and fell completely flat this last week with the series in Boston, and none of us came even close. So there are no punishments. We didn't predict the futility that was the Baltimore Orioles week that they had this last week. So everybody's off the hook. We're going to try again here this week. John, the cool thing we're looking at this week is Tyler Wells is supposed to get back in action, is the hope. I heard on Tuesday potentially getting a start. What is your thought on the Orioles having Tyler Wells go as a starter in this series rather than maybe bringing him in as bullpen relief or working him up to starting maybe next preseason?
I think they want to see what they have against a real big league lineup, a full big league lineup. But they're playing the Padres, so they want to see what he's doing, against real hitters, because your spring training games it's a little bit different than NFL preseason. But when you have a guy facing a third to maybe a half of an actual big league lineup in spring training, are you really getting the full big league experience? Are you really seeing exactly what you want out of the pitcher, out of the player? So I think having him just go straight to a start against a team that's fairly loaded like the Padres, I think that's very good for the offseason, for film, for these are the things that we're going to need to be working on in the offseason, because next year we're going to be expecting you to be our third or fourth starter every fifth day. And then we're going to want you, working on A, B, and C in the offseason. Because spring training, I don't think you get all that. But here you do. So I'm very, very encouraged to see them doing those things and not just sticking him in the bullpen and giving him an inning or two.
No, that's a good point, John. He won't be able to see that caliber of hitter, in the preseason. As far as baseball is concerned, I think it's almost kind of a trial period for him. Hey, can he do it? As a starter, does he still have what it takes to get through a lineup three times, or is this somebody that we think or consider as a potential replacement for Felix in the back end of the bullpen next year? Obviously, being down so many bullpen arms, it kind of makes you wonder, hey, do we go and try to pursue some other starting pitching options and then maybe slide him into the bullpen? But to see him pitch and to get an opportunity and to see, does he still have what it takes to get through the lineup multiple times? I'm really curious how that kind of turns out this week. So they have 3 in San Diego this week, and then they host the Dodgers, I believe, for 3. So it's kind of a gauntlet, like you said, starting really the whole month of September is a gauntlet. A little bit here at the end of August has been a pretty big gauntlet. So they don't have any easy peasy lemon squeezy games coming up here. So John, with the Padres and Dodgers, where do you think we roll this week with those 6 games?
I don't want to even open my mouth because what I'm going to say is not good. I don't think we're going to win a game this week. I think we're going to go 0-6.
Whew.
However, on the brighter note, I am excited for Saturday's game. Did you see what they're doing Saturday?
Is this the Ripken tribute?
Yes, it's the 30th anniversary of 2131. So I'm very excited, not for the game, but I'm excited to see what they're going to do. If they're going to have Cal run around the field again, or what they're going to do in the 30th anniversary of this. But no, I think that the O's are going to lay a goose egg, and I think it's just the month of September. If we have 6 wins in the entire month, I'll be thrilled to death.
Wow, you're really negative. I I feel you, John. Those are two really quality opponents. The Dodgers, I think, just got a walk off here. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. I just saw they had a walk off home run. So they're riding some good momentum. I think they're due to have a pretty good September. And they're nip and tuck in the NL West, so they're going to be battling back and forth. And we're just playing spoiler at this point. However, you made a couple good points. Number one is that 21-31 tribute game, that to me is anytime Cal Ripken's involved, we got a shot to win. So that could just be the nostalgia of the evening. Give me one win there at least. And then you're telling me Trevor Rogers is going to go at least in one of those, I believe. You got Bradish pitching and Wells pitching. I think they win at least 2 games in the series versus the Dodgers and the Padres total. So I'm going to say 2-4 over the next 6 games. I'm going to give an opportunity to squeeze a couple out, maybe with some good pitching performances. And it didn't sound great, but they maybe win a couple games here this next week.
And that's not what I'm not worried about the pitching though. I'm just worried after watching them not be able. I mean, we lost 3-2. We're not scoring runs, and even with good pitching, when we can't score runs, it doesn't matter. And I think that's very. That can be. I mean, granted, we're not like, it's not like we're putting out rookie pitchers. We're putting out guys that are fair. I mean, Rogers is he's not a rookie. He's fairly experienced. But if this was a rookie and we were doing this to them, that's pretty detrimental to their development. Is that they're giving up 3. You look at Paul Skeens in Pittsburgh. His ERA he's better than Doc Gooden through the same number of starts. Yet he has a losing record just because his team is not scoring runs. So, that's kind of an advantage to us right now is we don't have that kind of rookie pitcher who, is losing games because we can't score runs.
Well, I mean, you look at the lineup right now, there's no Adley Rutschman, there's no Jordan Westberg. They're trotting out some guys that, honestly are performing pretty admirably in the position that they're being put in. Like maybe Jeremiah Jackson's a find. Like he's been hitting the ball really well. He's hitting over 300 right now. Daniel Johnson had a good game, over the weekend. I don't know that he's anything beyond what we just, saw as a flash in the pan. Alex Jackson, you got these guys who are being plugged into the lineup, and then you got the young guys like Beavers and Basayo playing. But this lineup right now is not built to win. So what you see out of it is what you get, basically. So, and you got Mountcastle, he hit a bomb the other day. We just trying to get some trade value on that guy, here ending the season. I'm not sure if that's what we're looking at. But John, anybody in particular intrigue you that you've seen, maybe that you weren't expecting over the last few weeks, in either direction?
Not really. The guy that kind of has bothered me, and Jason talked about this not too long ago, but the guy that really bothers me is like Cowser. Because like in the last 30 games, he's hitting a $183. He has 20 hits and 109 at-bats. In the series against the Giants, in 14 at-bats, he had 1 hit with 7 strikeouts. So he's striking out in over half of his at-bats. And that is really kind of worrisome to me, because he's not performing at the level that we expect or that we need him. Otherwise, the names you mentioned, Johnson, Jackson, that they're performing admirably for the position that they're put in. And, we're going to take lumps with Basayo and Beavers and those sorts of things. But, the guy that really worries me is Cowser, because he's just, I don't know if he's hurt, if there's something else going on, but he's not performing at the level he should be.
I would say I agree with you in some ways, John, but I really do like how he's playing center field. Like we thought that he would be a good center fielder. He made an amazing sliding catch today in center field. I think he has taken over for Cedric Mullins without missing a beat too much in center field. So with that part of his game, I would say he's really risen to the occasion. The bat just isn't there this year, and he started out hot last season with the bat, but he went through a couple prolonged slumps last year. He has not really found his groove this year at all at the plate. So I have a little bit of concern, but again, remember he started the year, with an injury, and he's been in and out of the lineup a bit too. I think we got to give him a little bit of a break, in his sophomore campaign and see if he can come back next year. But because of the defense, he plays in center field. I'm encouraged by that piece, at least, moving into next season. Um, but we've talked O's. John, can you tell everybody where they can find us?
Yeah, you can find us on all social media. We're on X at crabcake_sports. We're at Facebook, Instagram at Dadbod's Crab Cakes and Sports. We're on you can email us at crabcake or Dadbod's Crab Cakes and Sports at gmail.com. Then we're at all the major podcasting sites, Apple and Amazon and Spotify and iHeart, and wherever you get your podcasts, you can find us there. And send us a message, and we'd love to hear from you. And you can, we maybe come up with some when we all lose, come up with some punishments for the three of us.
Yeah, John. I mean, I think it was punishment enough, playing fantasy football with you guys. I think a little bit because, didn't you take Stephon Diggs with your first overall pick, buddy? I thought that's what I saw.
No, he did plenty though. Don't you worry.
Hey, it's
I'm
Jason.
going to inform all of you on what John did. Man, you guys don't follow a schedule for hell, do you? What the? I can't even leave you guys for 20 minutes.
Look, man, we weren't doing fantasy football without you. We weren't skipping fantasy football and going we went right to the O's, my friend.
You guys jumped to college football first. And John, I was making counts of how many times John was going to use the word proverbial. I mean, like you guys have lost it. You're off the I mean, good freaking heavens!
It's a long weekend.
Well, because Jason, as clearly as you, no, I haven't been drinking today at all. But Jason, as you can see from my draft, I know about as much about fantasy football as I do about Confucius and speaking Chinese. So
I know, John.
I was going to wait for you to get some help.
That's why we're actually taking resumes for an intern that could probably take over your spot full time. So don't worry. But it all depends on how you do fantasy wise. But just to give everyone kind of a heads up, John, you started off really well. You did. I thought you were going like a hero RB type build. You took CD Lamb, you took Mike Evans. It's a good start. And then here's where it gets a little iffy because you took James Cook third, which is still I guess you can make the argument that you're still like in the hero RB. That's just not the guy I would make my hero because there's too many questions on what he would do. So in that case, I fully expected after you took the first two where you were that you would just keep taking that's where you then go, okay, 0 RB. So I'll then take my first running back like in the 6th round and you just start loading up on all of the available wide receivers and dominate that. You did not do that. After you took Cook, you still did good. You still took Tyreek Hill, who fell all the way to the 4th round, which is a little surprise to me. Zay Flowers, you homer pick. Then you took another running back. You took Aaron Jones. And then again, this is where it gets iffy. You did. I get that some people like to take quarterbacks early. So you took Bo Nix. That's fine. 7th round. But then you took a tight end and then another running back or another quarterback, Kyle Murray. So you have, just to give it, not to make everyone very bored, but John took 2 quarterbacks and 4 tight ends, and we only have 6 bench spots. Would you like to explain yourself, John?
Yeah, I entered it all in the Chat GPT and just drafted who Chat GPT told me to draft out of the list.
I think I fully expected that, Mike. I don't think I'm surprised at all.
I mean, you went quarterback, tight end, defense, kicker, finally a running back, tight end. Like I didn't know what was happening. I thought maybe you accidentally put the auto draft setting on and you accidentally left it on the tight ends or something. I didn't know what was happening. So I just assumed maybe that gave you the benefit of the doubt.
No, he hit the Landscraner draft, not the auto draft. And this is what happens. 4 tight ends later. Oh, John. But here's the messed up thing, Mike. He got a grade. This is why Yahoo is a disaster. Okay. He got an A grade.
I know.
And
you and I got D's. Did you see that? We both got D's.
So I've drafted 4 Yahoo leagues and I've gotten a D+ or a D in all of them. And it's only because Yahoo goes by their rankings and not like I go by my own mixed with a couple other people, like, and then I'd take the averages and blah blah blah. So they're they're totally different than Yahoo. I mean, a couple of my picks that I had to go, I had to like scroll all the way down. I'm like, oh, holy crap, their ADP is way off. So yeah, it was John, I don't mean to be Debbie Downer, but if unless you do some work on the waiver wire, especially in the running back area, I think you might be in for a long season, my friend. And if I'm wrong, then I'll never play on Yahoo ever again. Oh my goodness. All right, Mike, your turn. Mayo and butter sandwiches.
Oh yeah. My draft
Well,
was
you didn't even
brought
say
to you
what my
by
team
Mayo and
name
butter
was.
sandwiches.
You never
What'd
even
you
said
say?
what my team name was, Jason.
That's because it's irrelevant to my life. I'm just kidding. Your team name, John, is Natty Bow Bombers. Well done. We should probably mention that my team name is Old and Confused, which was quite evident on me trying to set this Yahoo draft up, which, just so you all know, was supposed to take place on Thursday evening. And I'm like, all right, everything's good. I went in, I manually entered the draft picks that we did instead of going by theirs. And I guess Yahoo's got this weird thing. When I went to set it, I set just the first round, and then it didn't change any of the other rounds. So it had everybody's picks all jacked up. So like the guy that picked like first didn't pick again for like the 30th pick. So we had to let it run out because Yahoo is a disaster, as am I. And then we had to redraft on Saturday night. So sorry, all you guys out there that were in the league. I apologize for the inconvenience. But okay, now to Mike's turn. Now,
Well,
Mike,
I mean, we're looking for unpaid interns. So if there's anybody who would like to come on and take over the tech pieces of our program, and you're out there and you're listening, reach out to us at dadbodscrabcakesandsports@gmail.com.
right. And I don't want you guys to get your feelings hurt because we don't get paid either. So we're all making the same amount of money.
Right. We're equals. You're partners in this.
Right. Exactly. So, hey, if we succeed, you succeed. That's how we'll sell it, Mike. Oh, my goodness. All right, Mike. Now to you.
Uh-oh.
Now, I looked at yours. Hold on. I got to find you here. Mayo and butter sandwiches. Okay. So you had which pick? The seventh pick?
I had 7. The 7 was a tough spot to pick in because I felt like there was a clear distinction in the first 6 picks of the draft. And then at that point, it was kind of like you could have gone a bunch of different directions. But I went running back.
Did you have a preconceived idea of what you were hoping to do before you started the draft?
I was hoping to go 2 solid running backs, actually, and then it didn't end up that way.
Okay. So, yeah, Mike went Derrick Henry, which was a good start, really good start. And then he, when it came back around, he took A.J. Brown, another good fit. So now he's got one of the top wide receivers, and in my mind, probably one of the top 5 to 7 running backs, right? And so this is something I'm totally against. It's just personal preference, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong. I don't take tight ends early just because I feel like you're missing out on, because it's what they call a onesie position. You only need one in your lineup. One tight end, a quarterback is also a onesie, defense and kicker, onesies. So when you take those early, you're missing out on what you really need to fill out your roster, which are a lot of running backs and a lot of receivers. So that is a personal strategy. But Mike took the second best tight end, which is Trey McBride, in the 3rd spot. And if he wanted to take Trey McBride, you would have had to. I mean, if you wanted to get him, you would have had to take him there. He wasn't coming back. So to me, I get it. Makes sense. And then you took Alvin Kamara, and then you went. So Mike is doing what they call that robust running back strategy. Wherever you take multiple running backs within the 6th round, in the first 6 rounds, that's robust running back. And then he took Cortland Sutton, and then he got RJ Harvey, who I love. So I've had to take him earlier than the 6th round, but he fell in ours. So yeah, Mike. And then you hit on a couple of running backs in a row with ETN, Chubb, which, I mean, I guess he's the starter. Yeesh.
By default, because of Mixon's injury, I think he's a starter.
Yeah. And then, okay, so you did take So both you guys, is there a reason why you guys took 2 quarterbacks? Again, not a wrong thing. I have a feeling why Mike did. But John, were you drinking heavily, or what were you doing? Did you fall
No,
asleep?
I
and
was
hit the
watching.
button?
I was watching. I was watching the Clemson game, and I was engrossed in the college football game. But I saw Kyler Murray still sitting there, and I don't have a ton of faith in Bo Nix. A lot of the research I did said if Bo Nix was available at the spot that he was available to grab him. So I did, but I don't have a lot of faith in him. So I wanted to make sure at least I grabbed somebody else reputable at that point because he was available. I don't remember where I drafted him, but it was fairly deep in the draft that he was still available. So I figured, well, you know what? Bo Nix fails. At least I got number 2, and I'm not going with like Drake May or somebody like that.
Okay. And just so you know, I have Drake May as my only quarterback in another league because I think he's going to actually he'll be this year's Jaden Daniels it's like Jaden Daniels light. I don't know if he'll put up full numbers. At least that's my prediction.
Or
Mike,
Geno Smith. How about that? How about you're stuck with Geno Smith?
Oh no, I'm not doing that. Heck no. That seems like that's not a fantasy darling. Mike,
that's what I'm saying is you're going to get stuck with him.
Right.
I think John was trying to watch the Clemson and LSU game and figure out how they're both Tigers and how they can both play in Death Valley. And his mind was all over the place. He was trying to figure out what was happening. For me, with the quarterback spot, like I waited a little too long, I think, to get a quarterback. And so I was like, I'm going to go boom or bust because all these guys are kind of junky. So I went with Cam Ward, hoping that he will turn into something special. And then once I took him, I was like, that's kind of risky. Maybe I should back him up with something else. And so I picked another guy who showed late season last year. He played really well for the last 10 games of last season. That's Bryce Young for Carolina, and thought maybe he might turn out. But yeah, I see what you're saying, Jason. In a 1 quarterback league, I probably should have just picked somebody up off the waiver wire later on.
But I actually just looking at your draft, I mean, I it works for me because if you are going to take one of those quarterbacks, you should follow it up with another one. So there are some strategies in the past that I've done that where it's like I think last year I took Brock Purdy in one league and I followed it up with Sam Darnold late. And Sam Darnold actually ended up winning me a league last year. So you can do that to kind of, especially if you're not real sure who else you're going to take. With me, it's just trying to load up on the different positions and whatnot. I see Steve is chiming in. He's saying fantasy football is stupid, but he is yet in our league. Steve did. He is. Steve did a kind of like a. I mean,
That's the wrong Steve, Jason. That's not our Steve.
Oh no, it isn't our Steve.
No, it's my friend Steve. It's my friend Steve from down here.
This is what I get for being blind.
Steve
all right,
the
so
pirate.
I'm not going to talk about Sweeney's. I mean, you guys can criticize my team if you want, but I wish you both the best of luck. John, Godspeed, my friend. With your 4 tight ends. If anyone ever needs a tight end.
Today I got rid of some of those tight ends because I did some research about who was on the waiver wire and I picked up a couple of running backs.
Well, you couldn't pick up anybody yet because the waiver wire.
I'm going to pick up some running backs. I went into the thing and clicked the guys that I'm trying to get. So we'll see.
All right. Well, that yeah, I mean, fantasy football, I love it. I can't get enough of it. I have 1 draft left personally. It is my big draft. This one's like it's $300 to get in, but it pays off an awful lot if you win. Last year I won, so I'm hoping to do the same thing again. All right. Well, what else do we have on the docket here? Let's see. Since I'm back now, we can follow what we're doing. John, did you have the ballpark figures today?
I do. I have a very fun ballpark figures tonight.
Oh, Mike, we give him a little power.
It's going off of something we talked about last time. So, Jason, you gave us the top 10 in wins last time.
Oh God.
Okay. So we're going the top 10 in win percentage minimum of 100 games. So it's a different list.
What team? What sport? What are you talking about?
Football.
You're talking about the NFL. We just did this, so we're going to do it again.
We're going to do it again because there's some names on this list that are very interesting.
Is this coaching again? Is this coaching again?
So NFL coaches with the highest winning percentage, minimum of 100 games coached.
Oh,
you gave me a lot of time to work on this, Jason. So I did this all afternoon. So I have a list here of 10 coaches, and they have all had over 100 games in the league.
Oh, Mike, I don't even know.
Are you yawning because this is boring because we did it already? I think that's
right.
what I'm thinking.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
But it's different. There's only I don't know. There's only a few that were actually on the list that were on the most wins list.
All right, let's get this thing going. It's going to be like watching paint dry. Let's do this thing.
All right. What do you think about Don Shula, Mike?
Yeah.
Don Shula is number 4 with a 677 win percentage.
So what do you think about Bill Belichick, Mike? Because he had that
the Browns stint wasn't
with
very
the
good.
Browns, but he did have a playoff season with the Browns too.
Yeah, he's good because he had so many great seasons in New England. Let's do it.
Bill Belichick.
Yes.
John.
Bill Belichick is number 9 on the list with a 647 win percentage.
All right. I'm going to cheat, and I'm pulling up my list from last time.
What about – oh, my gosh. There's some good ones. I was thinking, more recently. I think John Harbaugh is a pretty good one. I think Tomlin has a pretty good one. Andy Reid's got to have a pretty good one. Those guys are all thought process there.
I actually think John Harbaugh is pretty high on that one. So do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
John Harbaugh, John.
John Harbaugh is number 12 on the list with a win percentage of 623.
All right. See, I liked your Marv Levy one last week, Mike, but I don't know. Apparently, he didn't win that many games if he wasn't on the list.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on 100 games though? It's got to be 100 games. Did Jimmy Johnson get that many games in?
Yeah, I would assume, right? Let's see, 89, but they were poopy in 89.
Yeah, they were poopy
90,
before they got good.
91, 92, so 4 seasons, 16 games a season plus the playoff.
Probably not.
Barry Switzer didn't stick around long enough.
Oh, I don't think so. He was good, but I don't think he was there long enough.
96.
How about Mike Holmgren or did the Seattle years kill him?
Well, he went to the Super Bowl with them in Seattle. We can go with Holmgren. No, wait, did he go somewhere else? No, he was in the front office. Right? He didn't coach.
Mike Holmgren never coached in Seattle. He was in the front office in Seattle.
No, he coached in Seattle.
Did he?
Yeah, he took him to the Super Bowl against Pittsburgh.
Let's see. Parcells is pretty good, probably, I'd say, wherever he went.
Yeah, go. Let's do that. Let's do Bill Parcells.
Bill Parcells is not even in the top 25.
This is the dumbest list ever, Mike.
How about Gibbs?
Not enough.
He was up
all
there.
these guys don't have enough games. That's the problem is they don't have enough games.
Yeah, so it's like Bill Parcells didn't have 100 games. Yes, he did.
No, he's not on the list of when. Remember, he was coaching the Jets and the Giants when they sucked.
John, you're killing me.
You're
John,
missing
next week's list needs to be
from
primary colors. Okay, we'll go.
Yeah,
primary
we will
colors.
do that. We guys from last week that were on last week's list, Mike. Big name guys from NFC
You said
Central.
there were only 4.
Right.
Well,
From
George
last
Hallis was the guy you said was number 1, so he would probably be a good guess.
Yes,
Don
George
Shula was
Hallis.
number 1.
George Hallis is number 3 on this list with a 682 win percent. He had 318 wins, 148 losses, and 31 ties.
It's a lot of tie. That's a lot of kissing your
So-
sister.
Yeah, evidently they didn't. They didn't have overtime.
They must have been playing in West Virginia a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about the Lambeau fella or the other guy
Curly?
up in Green Bay, the other Green Bay fella?
See, I feel like Lombardi didn't like. I don't know. Are we guessing Vince Lombardi, John?
How about Sean
Absolutely.
McVay?
Vince
We're guessing
Lombardi is number
Vince
2 on
Lombardi.
this list with a 738 win percentage. Not 96 wins, 34 losses, and 6 ties.
Ooh, Mike, you see Sean McVay?
I don't know. Like he's had some up and down, but he's been pretty good since. I don't know if he has enough. Has he qualified? I mean, I think he has almost what? Is this his 9th season? He's close.
I mean, he's got a lot of playoff games too. Let's do Sean McVay.
Sean McVay is number 19. 611
Ugh.
win percentage. 77 wins, 49 losses. So you guys are missing number 1, number 5, 6, 8, 11, and 12, or 8, 9, and 10.
I mean, Dungy was pretty good for his run. Mike Shanahan was pretty good. I don't know if any of those guys show up.
We can give it a shot.
Dungy,
Alright,
is that your answer?
Dungy was 1.
Let's
Okay,
do
Dungy is number 6 on the list. 139 and 69 with a 668 win percentage.
Oh my gosh. Brian Billick wouldn't be on that list, Mike, would he? That would really
Brian
piss me
Billick
off.
didn't have enough games. He didn't have
That would
enough
piss me
games.
off.
He had that one really bad season.
Yeah.
How about
Did we guess
want
Mike
some-
Tomlin? I don't think we guessed
Jeff
Mike Tomlin.
Fisher? I don't know.
Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is number 10 on this list with a 630 win percentage.
That's a good one. Jay.
183 and 107.
Chuck Noll, is he on that list?
John? Did John
He is
freeze?
not on this list.
Oh.
All right,
So would
John,
you
we're
like
gonna need
some-
some. Yeah,
some
help
hints?
help us wrap this up.
Okay, so you guys have Lombardi at 2, right? Then Hallis at 3, Shula at 4, Dungy at 6, Belichick at 8, Lambeau at 9, and Tomlin at 10. So you're missing
who-
number 1.
That's it?
You're missing number 1, number 5, and that's it. So you're just missing the 2.
Mike, Tom Landry on there?
It's possible.
Tom Landry, John?
Tom Landry is number 21 on this list, 250 and 162.
What about
So you got Lombardi, Hallis, Shula,
Walsh?
Dungy, Reed, Belichick, Lambeau, and Tomlin. Here's 2 you're missing. You're missing number 1.
How about Bill Walsh?
Yeah, sure. Let's do Bill Walsh.
Bill Walsh is not on this list.
Wow. John, give us a division or something, buddy.
Some sort of
AFC
team.
West. AFC West, black and silver.
John Madden?
Yes, John Madden is number 1 on this list. 103 and 32 with 7 ties. So the only one you're missing is the one that we had struggled with last week as a team named after him.
Paul Brown?
All Brown.
Yep. Paul Brown is number 5 on this list. So John Madden, Vince Lombardi, George Hallis, Don Shula, Paul Brown, Tony Dungy, Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, Curly Lambeau, and Mike Tomlin. Your top 10 highest win percentage with a minimum of 100 games coached. It's funny because the old school guys, Lambeau has 22 ties and George Hallis has 31. It didn't look like they wanted to finish games way back in the day.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that was about as painful as an enema. So I'm so glad we got to do that.
I'm checking my own pulse to make sure I'm alive.
Yes. So no offense, John. We appreciate it, but maybe next time do something a little different than what we did the week before.
Well, don't give me time. Don't give me time to do it. Just tell me
That's
5
right.
minutes beforehand.
Reflexes are better for John. Remember his best sports Jeopardy? He had like 3 seconds to prepare. So
like I don't mind the list. We just did the same list essentially last week. It was just weird. I mean, next week you're going to say, okay, who has the most losses? Like, oh my God. No more NFL coaches.
No more NFL coaches.
But I much appreciate it. All right.
Okay.
So I know you guys already went through college football, but I wanted to ask you guys, based on what you've seen so far, and we haven't talked much college football, but do you guys have a prediction on who you think will be either in the national championship game or will win the national championship game this year? John, would you like to go first?
Sure. I think it's the Ohio State University. The Buckeyes are going to roll.
Homer.
They're going to roll it. They're going to roll and they're going to win. I think it'll be like the Ohio State University versus like LSU or something. Or it could be Texas. It could be Ohio State and Texas in the national championship game. Let's do that.
Ohio State and Texas?
I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, but I also hate Ohio State, so that's part of it. I'd love to see Penn State, get in there and do something. I don't know much about their quarterback room right now, their situation. I like Miami. I like what I'm seeing from them tonight. Notre Dame is one of my teams, but Carson Beck is like a solid. We were just talking about him right before we got on, Jason. What a solid addition to a already talented roster. And then Florida State is kind of a dark horse. They beaten Alabama Saturday night. It's a good start to their season, so maybe that propels them onto something really good.
I actually like LSU this year. I think it's the best roster that Brian Kelly's had since he's been there. And I know it doesn't seem like much because it's only 1 week, but they haven't won their opener in like 3 or 4 years. So for them to get that out of the way against a pretty good Clemson team, who I expect to be there at the end too in the playoffs and whatnot. But that would be my prediction. I'm not going to go with a homer pick of Notre Dame or anything like that. Obviously Georgia. I mean, I'm not writing Georgia off anywhere like other than LSU. I mean, Georgia. The best thing about yesterday was even though Texas lost, it doesn't matter because if you're going to lose, get it out of the way now. Even Alabama, they lost. So what? It's week 1. Nobody's going to remember week 1 come the selection at the end if you win the rest of your games or a good portion of them. So I would say LSU. I do like Georgia, though, as well. All right. So I did put the Ravens on here. I don't have a whole lot to talk about as far as the Ravens go because there's not a whole lot going on currently. So I just want to, I guess we'll have plenty of time to break down the game against Buffalo. And that's next Sunday, right? Like we're already here.
We're a week away.
A week from today. So we'll have to update everybody on our change of schedule because I will be watching the football game and sorry, not broadcasting. Maybe we'll do a pregame or something. But yeah, I guess I don't really have a whole lot. Do you guys have anything you wanted to add before we break into with the Ravens? Anything you're noticing? Mike?
Not
no,
really.
not particularly.
Just can we stay healthy? Can we, avoid those? I was going to say the word, but can we avoid those non-contact injuries? Can we, keep people from doing stupid stuff off the field or anything that might compromise, the integrity of the season?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I've listened to a lot of national guys, a lot of fantasy guys too, and everybody is. The majority of the people I listen to are picking the Ravens, which I also don't like, but it does seem to me like this is their time. And if it doesn't happen now, if it doesn't happen with this roster in place, it will be a disappointment, as we've mentioned. But it's all determined like even if Henry goes down, I don't think it's the end of the world. But if Lamar goes down, obviously it's the end of the world. If more than one defensive stalwart goes down, that could be a big problem, whether it's a pass rusher or whether it's Roquan or Hamilton, God forbid. That's where things go. But every team's like that. You battle injuries, but if you battle the big ones, that's usually when you get yourself in trouble. So here's to that not happening. Okay. So one of the last things we have here, I guess, is our Dad Bod Sports Jeopardy with everyone's favorite host, Mike, because he got he took one on the chin last week.
Yeah, I knew all the answers, Jason. I'm really slow reflexively. I've got limited ability to quickly raise my hand and say the right thing. So it's in my IEP, but unfortunately, this show doesn't really care educationally about that. So it's okay. We will move forward. I don't mind. I like being the host. I can use my clever wordplay and be a little creative. So that's what I'm doing tonight, folks. We're going to do some Dad Bod Sports Jeopardy. We have 3 categories. We have 100, 500, and 1,000 in each category. And Jason and John are going to compete to see who can come out with positive money so they can be in the final Jeopardy question at the very end. So, you boys ready for tonight's categories?
Absolutely.
You're not going to do like Maryland Terrapins that have the letter C in their name, are you? Or anything like that?
Never know.
Oh, God.
It wasn't in their name. It was it should have been their last name started with the letter, because it wasn't because if it was A, it could have been Steve Francis, because he has A in his last name.
All right. Coaches by winning percentage is my first.
Oh,
no, I'm just
God.
kidding. All right. My first category. Colorful birds. Colorful birds. And then we have O's number math. O's number math.
Okay.
And finally, keeping up with the Joneses. Keeping up with the Joneses.
I have a question before we start. Were these questions made in bitterness because of your beatdown last week, or is it normal feeling? I need to know.
I mean, I had positive money after last week, and I got the final Jeopardy right, so I'm not super bitter.
Oh, perfect. It's coming from happiness.
Yeah, it's coming from a good place. And again, like I said, I was watching National Treasure, so everything's good. So,
Mike, will you repeat those categories again? You said keeping up with the Joneses, colorful birds, and what was the third one?
Colorful birds, O's number math, and keeping up with the Joneses.
Okay.
All right. Jason, you won. You have control of the board.
All right. Let's do colorful birds for 100 because I'm curious.
All right. Each correct response will obviously have a color in the name. So, number for 100, Jason, is that what you said, buddy?
Yes, please.
This 6-time All-Star and 1997 World Series champion started games for the Orioles as a pitcher in 1995.
Jason. Oh, crap.
Jason?
Wait. Oh, Kevin Brown.
That is correct. Kevin Brown.
I forgot what we were doing for a second.
Brown. All right.
I was like, Jason, the timer's going to run out.
All right. I'm like, oh, no. All right. Now I understand. Let's go for 500.
Clearly not free, air quotes. That's what I just showed everybody on the internet. This 1997 Cincinnati Reds third base right fielder team MVP was traded to the Orioles for Jeffrey Hammonds in August of 1998. Five, four.
Jason.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I don't want to do it anymore. I quit.
Nope, that's not how this works. 4.
Okay, hold on. Can you repeat the question, or are we not allowed to do that?
I'll do it. I'll repeat the question. Clearly not free. This 1997 Cincinnati Reds third base right field team MVP was traded to the Orioles for Jeffrey Hammonds in August 1998. 5, 4, 3, 2. Any answer?
No.
Any guess? Nada?
I'm drawing a blank.
It is Willie Green. Willie Green.
Third
That was the free Willie hint. Free Willie.
baseman?
Green, third baseman, outfielder, team MVP in
For
'97.
the Reds. He was, yes.
Of the Reds. Oh, he was the MVP of the Reds.
Of the Reds. He was the team MVP of the Reds in 1997.
Oh, I knew what he meant. It's not the guy I thought it was.
All right. You're still up, Jason.
Ugh. All right, let's do it for 1,000.
Oh, this was a bad idea. All right, here we go. If that was the 500, enjoy this one, boys. All right.
Oh, man.
There's only so many colors in the Orioles rainbow. This relatively forgettable backstop made his MLB debut in 2005 on the Orioles side before winning a World Series as a backup for the Giants and finishing his career with the Rangers and the Cubs. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boop, boop. That catcher was Eli Whiteside. Eli Whiteside.
Okay, yeah, okay. I was going through my list of names and he didn't pop in.
All right. Well, that category's over, so that's good.
Thank God. Okay.
So I'm winning.
By default, but you're not winning. You're a disgrace to life. All right.
Until I luckily win the fantasy league and Jason's mad for the rest of eternity.
John, I'm telling you, there is a better chance you would win the lottery. I hate to break it to you. All right. Mike, I'll do O's numbers math for 100.
All right. So remember, you got to do the math of these people's numbers. Okay. Cal Ripken plus Eddie Murray.
John.
Go ahead, John.
41.
Correct.
God, why did I mess that up?
All right, let's do that for 500.
All right, 500. Jim Palmer times Adam Jones.
Jason.
Jason?
220.
Correct.
Oh, man. We're tied, John. All right. All right, let's do it for 1,000.
For 1,000. The square root of Armando Benitez.
Oh, that's just dirty.
I was going to say that.
That's just dirty. Please count.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boop, boop. Do you remember Benitez's number?
Is it 6? 9.
Nope.
Is it
Nope,
4? Wait, what is his number? Is it 40?
He was 49.
Ah.
7. Okay. Yeah, so 7.
So 7. 7 is what we were looking for.
I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if it was 36 or 49. It was one of the two.
Yeah, they're so close.
Well done, Mike.
Well because it's either 6 or 7.
Don't do the 6-7 thing that all the kids are doing. You're driving me nuts. Here we go.
What's that? What's the 6-7 thing?
Yeah, what the hell?
You live under a rock.
About? Yeah.
It's a TikTok thing. They go 6-7 whenever they hear 6-7. No? Look it up.
Is this like when all the kids ate bath salts and started eating people's faces?
Tide Pods, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh. And then you guys, working in high school, don't you guys have to have meetings about these things to watch out
for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
The cinnamon,
have you heard the Sigma and the Skibbity and all that kind of stuff?
I know
6-7 is one of those. It's one of those things. Look it up.
I'm so old.
I'll have to ask Lucy. Lucy probably knows about 6-7. That's one reason I know about the Sigma Alpha Rizzler from Ohio guy.
Does anyone drink Tang anymore? Is that a thing?
I do. I love Tang.
I don't think I ever did.
Somehow I'm not shocked either.
And guess what? It called for a whole cup of the stuff to make it, and my family put in a quarter of a cup, so it's mostly water with a little bit.
Smart.
Does that surprise you guys?
No, not
Conservation minded. I understand.
All right, let's do Keeping Up with the Joneses for $100.
This Orioles center fielder was a 5-time All-Star. John.
Adam Jones.
Correct. and
Oh.
4-time Gold Glove winner to go along with his 2013 Silver Slugger Award. That was Adam Jones. John,
All right.
All right,
speak
let's
again.
do 500.
All right. For 500, this Ravens wide receiver and all-pro kick returner in
John.
2012. John.
Jacoby Jones.
In 2012, from Lane College, was miraculous in the Ravens' Super Bowl run. Yes, Jacoby Jones is correct.
All right, let's finish that category in the game off for 1,000.
All right. This McDonald's All-American three-point assassin guard
Jason.
in Massachusetts. Yes,
Mike Jones.
that is correct. Was one of Gary Williams' most highly touted recruits after his national championship, but never really lived up to the billing. All right. So where do we stand, Jason?
We actually did pretty well tonight.
Yes, it was good, and the ones I didn't, I don't know math apparently. All right, so John has 7 hundos, Jason has 11 hundos.
Oh, it's good one. It's a good one.
Yes, tis.
All right, so you're going to have to actually write down a wager for this category. Pillars of Purple and Black. Pillars of Purple and Black.
I'm going to wager it all.
All of it?
All of it, 700, because then...
You're not supposed to tell people. You're supposed to write
No.
it down secretively. Have you
I
ever
don't
watched
have-
Jeopardy?
Oh, I have.
You're supposed to have some type of like pensive look on your head.
I think I have a pen. No, actually, I'm only going to wager 400 because then I can...
John, you don't have to tell me how much. You just need to write it down. Just write it down. All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
This is riveting radio while you write. All right. Here is the clue. This Ravens player has suited up for the most ever games for the Purple and Black, with 256 in his NFL career. Good luck. All right. So, John, you were in second place going into Final Jeopardy. Can I see your answer?
I don't know if you can see this or not. It says
Tell me the words.
Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke. That is correct. Sam Cooke is the most games played in a Ravens uniform.
I bet
Jason?
700.
Who'd you have, Jason?
I bet 0, and I had Ray Lewis.
Oh, boy. Ruh-roh. The
Raggy.
face that John has right now is one of just shock and amazement because I don't think he expected to win.
Oh no, I knew the answer to that question 100%. I figured Jason knew it too. But obviously,
Jason did not know it.
not know it.
So, Jason, to make you
Cook
feel
out
a
of
little bit,
Nebraska 2004 through 2022. Didn't miss
Are
a
you
game.
reading something, John?
No. Uh-uh.
Oh
Nope.
my
Sam
gosh.
Cooke out of Nebraska 2004 through Jordan Stout in 2020.
Yes, it looked like you're reading something.
Every game.
Jason,
No, I'm not
make
reading.
you-
I
make-
swear.
John, quiet down. Jason, to make you feel a little bit better, Ray Lewis was third on the list. You weren't too far off. He had 228 games played. Do you know who's second?
Is it
Uh,
Moore,
is it
the
Chuck-
long snapper?
Nope.
It's not Justin Tucker, is it?
He's fourth with 212. Big
Matt
bald
Stover?
head, kind of ugly looking.
There's lots of that.
Played on the defensive line.
On the defensive line? Oh, I don't know.
Gets a lot of sacks.
It's not like Michael McCrary, is it?
What?
No.
He was a
I don't know.
19-year-old when we drafted him.
Oh, Terrell Suggs?
Terrell Suggs, 229 games in a Ravens uniform.
Oh.
Is second. And then Stover is fifth with 207. Yonda and Ogden both have 177. Morgan Cox, long snapper, 165. Flacco, 163. And Ed Reed rounding out the top 10 at 160. John, that would have been a good top 10 game to just do there with the different Ravens most games played. So
Yeah.
I won't do that one next week though, Jason. Don't worry, I'm going to hold on to that for a little while.
Oh, goody.
Put that one in the proverbial back pocket.
Fantastic. Oh, proverbial. There it is again. The word of the day.
John,
All right.
congratulations, man. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Jason,
man,
good job.
You finally beat someone other than Mike.
No, I beat you a couple weeks ago too.
And that means like nothing.
But the only times you win though, or when I do something dumb like get a question wrong that I risk points. You just sit there and don't say anything.
So
I answered a good amount of questions this time.
You did. John, what you win is unless Jason has anything to add, you get to wrap up the podcast tonight. So why don't you take us home?
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for listening tonight or tomorrow on your drive or whenever you listen to us. You can find us on all the major podcasting networks on Apple and Spotify, iHeartMedia, Amazon, or wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on and like us on all social media. We're at crabcake_sports on X. We're at DadBods, Crabcakes and Sports on Instagram and on Facebook. So for myself, Mike, Jason, and the whole gang, remember, keep eating those crab cakes, keep watching the game, and don't exercise too much because you might lose the dad bod. Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.